天上午我们有一个专门一个环节在讲流亡藏人的民主发展。那流亡藏人呢，实际上也进行了第3届的，一共进行了3届的叫 Colin Triba， 也就是他的这个总理的选举，民主选举。今天呢，我非常荣耀向大家介绍这个流亡藏人民主发展的一个成果，也是一个活见证，就是劳桑桑给博士。劳桑桑给博士呢，他是出生在流亡藏人的一个非常普通的流亡藏人的家庭，在流亡藏区成长，而且在流亡藏区完成了他大学以前的教育。后来读了一间印度的大学，后来考入哈佛大学，在哈佛的法学院获得博士学位。那他从非常年轻的时候，从在读这个中学的时候，就非常活跃地介入了西藏的自由运动，是一个非常活跃的一个青年领袖。在哈佛的期间呢，劳桑桑给博士致力于和汉人的对话。那时候我印象很深，就是无论官方的学者到底他的观点是多么的激烈，他都试图去接触。因为在哈佛大家知道有很多官方来的学者，尤其在法学院，所以呢他试图去接触他，无论观点多么激烈，我当时感觉他这个涵养非常好。老师笑笑的听别人嘛，他从中也学了一些汉语，会说马马虎虎的一点点汉语那么他自己呢，后来又在哈佛办一些汉藏的对话的一些活动，请的主要的是官方的学者。然后他不仅是这样，还把家打开，说请这些和他观点很不一样的，甚至有一些是非常激烈的观点，就是很霸道的观点，让我们来通俗的讲，这种人请到家里去吃饭。那我也有幸被他请到家里去，当然不是因为我霸道是因为我们交流的很好。所以当时他太太在家里做饭，当然我忘记吃了什么了，但是觉得还是很好。就是说他当时是致力于汉藏的对话活动，而且非常有成效。所以他这次在流亡政府的第3届的 Colin Triba 的选举中能够胜出，是大家可以知道他深厚的背景。那么今天他来给大家分享，当然我想很多朋友都希望听听他对未来的看法，有没有新的政策，尤其是达赖喇嘛尊者退出政治以后，意味着政教的分离，意味着达赖喇嘛在政治上逐渐的影响力的逐渐的消退，而劳桑桑给博士作为一个新一代的领导人，逐渐的走入前台，走入台子的中心，所以大家肯定有很多的问题，也很希望能够听到他的想法。那么现在呢，我就请劳桑桑给博士给大家来做一个演讲，然后预留一些时间大家来问问题。劳桑桑给 the floor is yours。
谢谢杨夏丽博士。
换一杯水
my 中文 is 马马虎虎 so it will rain. Maybe it's good if I speak in Chinese. If it rains, then it might not be the best thing you want to experience. As Yang Jiali explained, we go way back. In Boston, at Harvard University. So one of the very first experience we had together was when Chinese President Chiang Zemin came to Harvard University. Was it 97 or 98?
97.
97, yes.
November 97.
November 97. And we organized the largest protest at that time we had about 4,000 people to protest against Chinese President Chen Shen's visit, and there was a loud protest, and the Yang Jiali and Shandong and Jialing all were there at that time, 6 or 7 of you actually. Yeah. So we had the loudest protest, and then since then we have met on and off, and so it's good to be here, co-chaired by Yang Jiali, and see many familiar faces here. I'm told to explain briefly about the devolution of political power by His Holiness, and then my agenda, if I have any. As you know, on March 10th of this year, His Holiness made a decision to devolve his political power to elected leaders, and I was sitting at the back end of the podium in Dharamsala when he made the statement. So I was obviously, like any Tibetan, surprised, shocked, anxious, nervous, and also I was in denial mode, like any Tibetan, thinking perhaps His Holiness will change his mind. But after repeated and impassioned appeals by Tibetan people, Parliament, and a special session, His Holiness stubbornly stuck to his decision to devolve his political power. And on 29th May of this year, a special session and the Parliament eventually amended our exiled constitutional charter and constitutionally and institutionally removed or amended and changed all those powers related to His Holiness political authority. And thereby, it was delegated to the Kalachripa, to the judiciary mainly to take oath, and then to the Parliament to make laws. And as per his wish, now we have a political leader, and then His Holiness will remain, obviously. In our charter, the Article 1 clearly says, he is the most revered leader as per the general will of the people, as per the tradition. Because of that, he has inherent responsibility to speak for Tibet and Tibetan people. Any Tibetan has responsibility to speak for Tibet and Tibetan people. His Holiness has inherent responsibility. And in that special session, we requested, we appealed to His Holiness that he gives guidance and advice to the Cabinet and to the Parliament. He refused that, and he said he cannot give guidance and advice which has an element of obligation, but he can make statements, and thereby giving us choice to abide by or listen to the statement or not. And then His Holiness, we also wanted His Holiness to appoint, like before, the representatives and envoys by him. But that also he refused. He said now the appointments has to be done by Kalachripa and the Kashak. But for practical purposes, we can borrow his name if necessary. So that's the state we are. So essentially, constitutionally and institutionally, His Holiness has devolved all his political power to elected leaders. Now, as far as I'm concerned, where I stand on Sino-Tibetan dialogue, as Yang Jiali shared, I have had a fair deal of experience reaching out to Chinese students and scholars at Half Tasha for the last 16 years. I have met hundreds, even I could claim to have met 1,000 Chinese scholars from all the major universities in China. The 5 conferences that I've organized included scholars from Veda, Minzu Tasha, Academy of Social Science, Contemporary Institute of International Relations, Party School, Tibet Academy of Social Science, and Tibetology Center. So I have a fair deal of exchanges, not exchanges actually, Chinese scholars coming to my conferences at Harvard, and we have discussed on a range of issues from, perhaps maybe I should share you an interesting story because this after lunch, you all have heavy lunch now. It's time to close off. If I speak softly, then the chances of you all, falling asleep is higher. So interesting stories. For the first conference, we had a Chinese representative and we had a Tibetan representative, and I was one of the organizers, so kind of a mediator. So at Harvard, when I first proposed this idea, I want to organize Chinese and Tibetan Scholars Conference. Harvard scholar, Lao Shi, told me, he said, "Good, Lobsang Singhe, we are behind you." And I said, "That's very good. And they are behind me, they're supporting me." So when I started organizing the conference, we got the funding, organized conference. Literally, I learned that they were literally behind me, not with me. I had to do all the organization. So we had to discuss on the title of the conference. So obviously, the Tibetan representative would say, "What about occupation, of Tibet or oppressed Tibet?" And obviously, the Chinese side would propose development in modern Tibet. There's polar apart in their views. So finally, then one issue that was raised was we cannot talk about political situation or political aspect of Tibet. Finally, we negotiated. We used all our lawyer skills and Chinese negotiation skills. The final topic was dialogue on socio-economic, cultural, and environmental situation in contemporary Tibet. Whole paragraph, you see. Because there's no politics. There's a dialogue on socio-economic, cultural, environmental issue in contemporary Tibet. So that was the topic, and we had the conference. But then after a few conferences, I had this great idea, which turned out to be a bad idea later. I said, why not we shorten the topic? Just simply make a dialogue on contemporary Tibet. I think it was 2004 or 5. So we had a Chinese delegation confirmed to come. In fact, Chinese scholars group of them confirmed to come. 3 weeks prior to the conference, I received a message from my Chinese friend, she was in California at midnight there, 3 o'clock in the morning on my side, East Coast. She calls and says, "The Chinese delegates are not coming now." And I said, "Why?" They have objection with the topic. Hey, we shared this topic several months ago. They had no objection. Now, 3 weeks prior to the conference, what is the objection? Because the title is Dialogue on Contemporary Tibet, which means dialogue in Chinese means duhua. Duhua means negotiation or conversation. So the official there took it as negotiation, so objection. Contemporary Tibet could mean political Tibet as well. So we cannot have negotiation on political Tibet, So they refused to send us the delegation. But I told her, please convey to Beijing, the other side, that they are welcome to come to my conference anytime. But we will have the conference. So she was surprised. How is it possible? How are you going to do it? I said, I have arrangement. We are Tibetans, Why I can share this today, but now it's video tape, it's all right. We are Tibetans, of course. We want to be friends, but there's element of suspicion, in all of us. At least with Beijing, I had. So I always kept in touch with Chinese scholars who come to America, alternate speakers. I've never shared this in Beijing, but alternate speakers are always in mind. So. And I said they could come anytime. They did not come. And obviously, you also know Beijing politics, the Department of Politics, bureaucratic politics. Someone was trying to sabotage my conference, obviously.